Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Lorena. I do mommy lifestyle and beauty videos. Today is going to be way more mommy. I'm talking about my and my husband's views, perspectives, and rules on sleepovers. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on post notifications, give this video a big thumbs up, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and let's get into it. Alrighty. I've got my handy dandy bullet journal here with my notes. So to give a little bit of a background, my son is almost 2. He's gonna be 2 in 3 months. My husband and I, we did attend sleepovers growing up, so this perspective isn't coming from people who never attended sleepovers. This perspective is coming from people who have attended sleepovers and also who've done their research and also heard stories from other people. So that's kind of the background of why I want to talk about this and where this is coming from. I am honestly scared to talk about this and put this out there because I know other people will have really strong opinions on it, and I've already seen other strong opinions online, and I don't feel like getting attacked for my beliefs, but I did want to put this out there because when I was talking about it on Instagram stories casually one day, a ton of you were DMing me, asking me questions, agreeing with me, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make a full video to kind of explain what we believe, and this is what we believe now. Things may change as our son, and if we have more kids, you know, as they get older, but this is what we believe right now. And of course there are yard workers right outside my window. So first I want to talk about the reasons why we either will not let our children have sleepovers, or we are very hesitant to have them sleep over other people's house. It's leaning very much so towards not having them sleep over their friend's house, and we'll get into the family part a little bit later. But the biggest reason is that at sleepovers, children are exposed to sex, drugs, alcohol, porn, and abuse. So those are like 5 different reasons, but the main reason is that they get exposed to a lot of things in not the proper ways. All these, except for abuse, all these things aren't bad, right? Sex, drugs, alcohol, porn. That's a whole different conversation. But in and of itself, the 4 things, excluding abuse obviously, aren't inherently bad. But when you're 8 to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever, your old child is being inappropriately exposed to those things, that's when it's an issue. Misinformation on all of these things can be very dangerous. Unsupervised exposure to these things can be very dangerous. So I want to make sure that my child is not being inappropriately exposed to these things. I and or my husband will have the sex talk with our children probably at a younger age, just because kids are exposed to way more, and not just at sleepovers these days. So we want to have conversations about that. We want to have very open conversations with our children, but we don't want them to happen unsupervised and with misinformation and with access to the internet like kids have this day, you know. Another huge reason why I don't really want my child to go to sleepovers is because, I'm trying to think of examples from my childhood, right? So I wanted to sleep over at one of my girlfriends' house. So my mom or my parent knew my friend, and my mom even knew the friend's mom. They weren't best friends or anything, they weren't even good friends, but they knew each other because we were friends. So even in that sense, my mom didn't truly know my friend's mom, but for the most part she was, you know, trustworthy. So I would sleep over at my friend's house and the mom was there, but the mom at the time also had a boyfriend, but my mom didn't know the boyfriend, so that could have been a very dangerous situation. It wasn't, and I love that family. Luckily nothing bad happened, right? And there are other situations where I had another friend when I got a little bit older, middle school, high school. I had a friend and my mom knew this friend's mom, so because of that she said, okay, you can sleep over. would sleep over. This friend I slept over, she had 2 younger brothers, an older brother, and a stepdad. My mom didn't know any of those men. Bad things could have happened. They didn't, thank God, but bad things could have happened, right? Any one of those siblings could have had people over. You don't know, if you can't control who goes in and out of the house that your child's sleeping over at, and that makes me say no. If I can't have control over who will be around my child when they are sleeping, or when they are staying a long time in a semi-unfamiliar place, that makes me hesitant, and that makes me say I don't think I'm comfortable with that. And this isn't in a way where I'm trying to control every single thing that happens to my child. I know I can't do that, nor do I want to. But in situations where I know the likelihood of multiple bad things happening, I will try to keep my child from that situation. So that's another huge reason, is that even though as a mom, I might know that other child, the house that they're sleeping over at, I might even know one of their parents, whether it be the mom or the dad or whatever, I might not know the siblings. I might not know if the siblings have partners that come over and sleep over, or if the siblings have friends that come over and sleep over. I don't know these things. If they have a family member that's coming in for the weekend that happens to be over there, I don't know all of these things, and I can't control all of these things. So I'm gonna try my best to keep my child out of situations where I do not know who will be there, and I don't know what kind of person will be around my child. According to the Child Abuse Prevention Center, over 90% of child sexual assault cases happen when the child is victimized by someone that they know. Over 90%. And that is not sitting well with me as a parent, me as a person with anxiety, and me as a person with postpartum anxiety, and just all the different factors of my life and who I am combine into who I am as a mom. And all of these things make me not comfortable with my child sleeping over at someone else's house. And right now, that includes family members. Right now, that includes his grandparents, cousins. He doesn't really have a whole ton of younger cousins where they sleep over, but right now I'm not comfortable with that, and that's the decision that we make. I mean, at the end of the day, it's mine and my husband's decision. When he is older, and I have not decided what that means yet by older, he can have friends and his cousins sleep over our house. So of course I would want to know the child, and I would want to be in communication with this child's parent, because I want the parent to know that they can trust me and the members in my household. I know the concerns I have for my son sleeping over someone else's house. So if I know that someone is coming to sleep over our house, whether it be Noah's cousins or a friend, I will not have anyone else be sleeping over the house. And if I can control it, I will not have anyone else come to the house. I won't even have someone stop by or come for dinner. No, I want to make sure that this child's parents feel safe letting their child sleep over at my house. My parents and my family kind of was that safe space for our friends. We had so many people sleeping over all the time. My older brother brought in a lot of people to sleep in our house, and thank God none of those people did anything. I can only speak for myself. I haven't spoken to my younger brother about this, but thank God that none of the people that slept in our house that my brother let sleep over did anything bad to me, right? So even letting someone else or people sleep over your house when that child has siblings is a whole nother topic and a whole nother conversation that my husband and I need to have. Right now, obviously, my son doesn't have any siblings, so that's not something we've been talking about. But if we want to have another one, which we do, then that is probably something that we need to start discussing, since we did agree that when Noah gets older, he can have cousins or friends sleep over our house. So that's another video for another time. But for now, what we've agreed on is that there are no sleepovers for the foreseeable future. And when the time comes that Noah is old enough to understand boundaries and understand what inappropriate behavior and inappropriate touching is, then we can have people come and sleep over our house. And I think whether or not you have the same opinions as I do, when your child is sleeping over anywhere, I would really encourage you to think about the next few things. So the first thing is, does your child know what inappropriate touching or even inappropriate conversation looks like? Are they old enough to recognize that this conversation or this touching is not appropriate, that this is not okay, that this is making me uncomfortable, that this needs to stop? Is your child old enough? Because if they're not old enough, then in my opinion, automatically they should not be going somewhere where you will not be able to supervise them. They don't know what inappropriate behavior or inappropriate touching is. How are they gonna stop it? Then it's gonna be too late by the time you find out, and if you find out, right? So let's say your child does know what inappropriate behavior, conversation, or touching looks like. That's great, but are they assertive enough to speak up about it? Are they assertive enough to call out, to yell, to scream, to bring attention to the situation? Because most often than not, like what was reported, this happens, this sexual abuse and child sexual assault happens with people that they know. So if they're aware of what inappropriate touching is, even if they're assertive enough to say something, could they be manipulated by this person to not say anything, which is what happens so often, right? They could know that this is wrong. They could want to say something about it, but will they be manipulated by this person to either not say anything, not scream, not call attention to where you are or what is happening? For me, in my opinion, there's just too many ifs, or too many this needs to happen for this needs to happen for this needs to happen for me to be comfortable in many situations. It just scares me, and that's the thing, is I don't want my fear to be instilled in my child. Me not wanting Noah to go to sleepovers will not be painted in the light of, I don't want you to go to sleepovers because you could be sexually assaulted. That is horrifying. My job isn't to scare the living crap out of my kid. My job is to prepare my child and keep them safe. So just because I will not most likely let my child sleep over places doesn't mean I'm not educating my child and making him or them aware of what inappropriate behavior looks like. Just because I may not let my son go to sleepovers, there will be times where my child is not with me and with caregivers or at the friend's house. Just because they're not sleeping over a friend's house doesn't mean that they can't go to the friend's house. So just because I will not be allowing sleepovers doesn't mean my child won't be in vulnerable positions, you know, with people who can manipulate them. So I need my child to be very well educated and very well aware of inappropriate touching, inappropriate conversations, and just situations that make them uncomfortable. I want my child to know and be comfortable with speaking up when they are uncomfortable, even with his mom and dad. So I already know that there will be a point in time, honestly probably in the next year or so, where he learns how to wash his own privates. I'm obviously there making sure he doesn't drown and sitting next to him, you know, in the bath, or not in the bath, but I'm sitting next to him while he's bathing because he obviously needs to be supervised. But there will be a point in time where he learns to wash his own privates and I don't have to do that anymore. So there will be a point in time where I say no one should be touching you here. So it's hard. It's honestly freaking hard and uncomfortable and you know, you kind of question yourself and you say, am I making the right decision as a parent to have these beliefs, to implement these rules? But I know for me and for my husband, we are doing the best that we can. In the moments, we try to use some foresight, some research, some suggestions by professionals in the decisions we make with our child. But this is something I have really strong feelings about, and something that I really, really want to protect my child from. And you can't always protect them. I think that's why I feel so strongly about this. I want to do what I can to protect my child from any kind of abuse or inappropriate introduction to drugs or alcohol or porn or sex or anything like that. So these are my beliefs. If these are not your beliefs, then that is a-okay. You parent how you choose to parent, with your child's best interest at the forefront of your mind, and I will do the same with my child. This is what we are choosing, and this is what we believe. I hope I'm not leaving anything out here, but those are kind of my thoughts and perspectives and some rules on sleepovers when it comes to my son and my future child or children. And yeah, I just want to protect them. I know that that's what you want to do. Whether or not we have the same views or not is not the point, but I just wanted to share our views and what we plan on doing with our babies. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that this was a very heavy topic and hard to talk about. Not fun to talk about, but we need to talk about it, right? So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on post notifications. Give this video a big thumbs up. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Happy Christmas Eve. We are almost at the end of Vlogmas. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I have a Vlogmas 2020 playlist, so if you've missed other videos, you can go to that playlist and see what you've missed and catch up on them. But I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Love you. Bye.